You know right, assassinate. Airport and my moja nananum shegu edigu on my
Memo bibi akwaba eba Melodies TV so. Aprobo ewo social media ena meku post bi a Pendream TV for emeki. Na ensemo a womo eka say it is a video in retrospect. Not to say old video. Now so mususu say this time around it makes sense or it is making sense into what say one more ebo. And I'm say okay, my minchi a title a one more demand no me ba my her title no na yebekwa kotie na yaka ho asem. I say Mahama's speech that put fear and panic in Mensa and MPP towards 2024. Not to say Mahama nsem bia wokan ya ama ehun ababebo MPP and Mensa in 2024 about to ayebekwa akoto yi. I don't want to waste much of your time. Yenko tie nsem no emra.
Allow me to begin by expressing my deepest gratitude to you for your tremendous support, which you expressed overwhelmingly and convincingly at the polls. There's no doubt that Ghanaians from every region of this great nation of ours voted for change. And we did so in both the presidential and parliamentary elections.
TV on YouTube.
I'm a staunch believer in the experiment of democracy, the system of governance that allows the ultimate decision-making power to rest in the hands of you, the good people of Ghana. We the people who, with an eye towards the future we would like for our dear country, elect representatives to go forward and realize that vision. Government serves at the choice, direction, and pleasure of the people of this great nation. And I have had the honor and privilege to serve my country in all levels of government. When in 2016, at the end of my first full term as president, I ran for re-election as an incumbent candidate, I respected the will of the people. I conceded, I stepped aside, and I set in motion a peaceful transfer of power because I understood that it was the will of the people. And if we are to progress as a nation, if we are to live up to the inheritance of our history, one for which people have paid the ultimate price, the sacred verdict of the people must be respected. It must be protected. It has been my pledge throughout my time of service as a representative to the good people of Ghana to do exactly that. And that is why I stand before you tonight, unwilling to accept the fictionalized results of a flawed election. My brothers and sisters, it is important to remember that the government that is in power controls all of the state resources and oversees all of the state's institutions. The line he treads between his loyalty to the power that is held by the people and by his own desire to hold on to power can be a very thin one indeed. We went into the 2020 presidential and parliamentary elections with assurances from the Electoral Commission and the relevant state actors that it will be conducted in an atmosphere free from fear and that it will be fair, transparent, and credible. Unfortunately, that has not been the case. What we witnessed across the country from Monday, 7th December 2020, exposed a deliberate plan to manipulate and predetermine the results of the election in favor of the incumbent candidate, Nana Akufo, who, as so happens, controls all of the state resources and oversees the state institutions. Despite all of the ruling party's inducements, use of monetary enticements, and other such schemes on a scale never before seen in the history of this country, the good people of this country understood what was at stake, and it was clear as the results of the votes that were legally cast that the National Democratic Congress won the presidential and parliamentary elections. No amount of trickery, sleight of hand, or obfuscation will erase that reality. I'm extremely proud of our parliamentary candidates who have earned for themselves the title of giant elephant killers. We went into the parliamentary elections with a deficit of 63 seats. We made up for our 2016 losses, and we're now set to become the majority in Parliament. This historic feat, after only one term, demonstrates the strength of our great party and the strength of the mandate given to us by the good people of Ghana to lead. In respect of the presidential elections, the facts and figures available to us from pink sheets and other evidence that has unfolded across the country indicate that numerous steps have been taken to manipulate the results of the election in favor of the incumbent. This calls into question the credibility of one of our most important institutional pillars of democracy, the Electoral Commission. It is now obvious to many objective minds that the Commission and its chairperson have been used to manipulate results from the various constituencies, and in that process seek to subvert the sovereign will of the Ghanaian people. My brothers and sisters, one matter requires special mention. The use of the military in this election is unprecedented in our history. Armed forces featured heavily as an intimidating measure to reverse election results, and they continue to be used in the same intimidating role to insist on recounts in areas in which the incumbent has lost, while arm-twisting election officers during these supposed recounts. We will not accept anything short of a declaration of the legitimate result. I said we will not accept anything short of a declaration of the legitimate results which point to an NDC parliamentary majority. My brothers and sisters, advisedly since the inception of the Fourth Republic, final election results have always been declared within a 72-hour period to allow for thorough and diligent collation. Surprisingly, this Electoral Commission chairperson announced quite suspiciously, and for reasons known to her, a hurried 24-hour deadline, which, as we all know, could not and would not be met. The chairperson of the EC, in less than 24 hours after her declaration, has admitted that she made unacceptable errors which go to the heart of the entire electoral process and cast deep doubt on the credibility of the announced outcome.
Melodies TV on
the Electoral Commission of Ghana has never brought its credibility to this historic low at such a crucial moment of election results declaration. In fact, the litany of irregularities and blatant attempts at rigging for a candidate is obvious and most embarrassing. Ghana has come too far in our democracy, in our transparency, and in our well-earned international reputation for free and fair and non-violent elections to find ourselves here, where we are in respect of this election. As has been announced by my party, the National Democratic Congress, we are unable to accept the outcome of the election as declared by the Electoral Commission chairperson, Mrs. Mensa. These results are flawed and discredited. When it comes to the parliamentary election, the NDC won a working majority of 140 seats. What has happened since the election has been a deliberate attempt targeting 5 constituencies of the 140 to steal and thus subvert the people's verdict. A closer look and detailed examination of the constituency-specific facts casts very dark clouds on our democracy. And allow me to speak in specific so our claims are well known. In Seychelles, the results were declared without the content of one ballot box being counted. The parties had agreed that an issue of alleged overvoting should be referred to the collation center to be resolved. That ballot box mysteriously disappeared en route to the collation center. Nevertheless, results were declared in favor of the NPP candidates. In Upper Juncture West, the EC official deferred the declaration of the results because of alleged death threats. The results favor the NDC candidate, as has been confirmed earlier today. In Senate West, a ballot box was snatched and the culprit was apprehended. The seal of the NPP must have become dislodged in the ensuing scuffle with the culprit. That of the NDC and the Electoral Commission remained intact. However, NPP would not allow the contents of the ballot box to be counted and added to the lot because it would obviously favor the NDC. In Techiman South, the NDC won quite clearly, but for whatever unknown reasons, the military was invited. In the ensuing melee, 2 people were shot and killed by the military. 8 persons were injured and hospitalized. A 3rd person, who was one of those hospitalized from gunshot injuries, has now been pronounced dead. These are three Ghanaians who wanted nothing more than for their country to fulfill its promise of democracy and ended up losing their lives at the hands of the military that is meant to safeguard their rights as citizens. They include Abdallah Ayarik, 18 years of age only, and Tajuddin Al-Hassan, 39 years of age. The results have allegedly been strangely declared for the MPP, even though the EC chair claims to have left Techiman South out of her declaration. After an audit and review of our pink sheets, and I wish to announce that we have all our pink sheets signed. After an audit and review of our pink sheets for Techiman South, we can confirm to you, ladies and gentlemen, that the NDC won the parliamentary seat as follows. NDC secured 50,417 votes, and NPP secured 49,825 votes. In the Eastern region, the results in the presidential elections, which were collated and signed by all the parties, were not the same ones that were transmitted from the regional electoral commission offices to Accra. The padded figures have since been exposed. The Ashanti region provides fundamental problems that require further investigation and a full electoral forensic audit. Evidence gathered across board shows that the aggregates on the summary sheets of some constituencies do not reflect the individual results on the polling station pink sheets. You may also recall that prior to the election day, December 7th, there were many incidences where ballot papers thumbprinted in favor of candidate Nana Akufo were found at various locations. In Bantama, for instance, it was noticed that the portion of the pink sheets reserved for recording the number of persons biometrically verified had not been filled on a large number of the pink sheets. When our agent requested for the biometric machine to confirm the recorded results, they were denied access, with the explanation that they were recorded in a book to which they were also denied access. My brothers and sisters, these are serious issues, ones that attack the very foundation of our democracy and our rights as citizens of this sovereign nation to elect our representatives and to have a say in who leads our government.
Intiatie for ensem no na me no. There is one thing I like about what the NDC is doing, especially on Nipana Yokumomo election day, no, because a year on, we've still not heard or seen anything. A year on, yente se aban eka say why you say, we've not heard anything. Now, you see, what the NDC is doing now, they say they want the matter to live on for as long as it can, and it is true. Unim say, and still, yeah, kasa, you to me kasa efa judges are embrebi ekemu ansa na Ghana yebenya ye independence. And no, sorry, Ghana yenya independence we ye coup d'etat air koso. Ghana yenya independence we ye coup d'etat air koso. Sa time judges bi ye kochi omuku omo. Unse ende eya na ensemo still enkrofo eka. Now, how the NDC are holding this matter up no, I want it to live as long as that, so that ebeye esabi ebeda ho, because tie sa de no ende se ye say judge bi akwa akoye we judge bi koye we ne say judge bi edi bone kra na de ka ne say oh ye ni aye ka de ye judges bi aye kokoku wo mo no enye ade bi a edi esum eba wo man ne so. Sisi a me hu ne say NDC for every single year wo mo hold vigil emo mo aye ku wo mo no ne ye ne sa it will last long. Echimba beba be hu ne say embre bi bae abato okoso ema nkola akra no yekobo mutuo ekuomo ewotechiman south. So this thing, it will still live on to be a dent on Jean Mensa's administration. Sadewe, it will still live on. Jean Mensa ne chimba kraba umbe hu ne say oh monana muwei obaye no election our hair so the see yeni. And if they don't want that to happen, it is as simple. If among persons are the ABCA, the simple thing they will do, and they say, especially President Akufo Addo, the simple thing they will do, and they say they should do an investigation into that matter and make sure they arrest some soldiers now. Because as far as you are quiet on it, no, you the obefra say you wo and a wo or die. Intermediate, so the way to live on to create fear and panic for Jean Mensa. Montreal, what your comment box anymore?